How do we get people to eat out of our hand? How can we use and get and have people eating out of our hand to grow and supersize our business? That's our idiom or our expression for today. Eating out of your hand is a 20th century expression, so it's a pretty new expression. A gentleman by the name of Joseph Conrad was the first one to write it in 1915. He used it to refer to people being so tame and docile and going along with something. It was as if they were eating out of someone's hand. Now, when I think of this expression, and I thought it meant more getting a wild animal or converting someone or something and attracting them to you to eat out of your hand. And that probably comes from when my kids were growing up. We used to put out corn for the deer in the winter and feed for the deer in the winter so that they wouldn't starve in our Wisconsin winters. And so they would be in a lineup in the backyard, sometimes as many as 15 or 20 little deer. They weren't really little deer, would be in the backyard, right, 5-10 feet away from the windows, because we had a lot of windows on the southern side of our house. And they would be eating and looking at the kids, and they'd actually come up to the window and they'd look in the window of the family room and see what the kids were doing and watch the big TV and things and just see. And so it was a really good experience for my kids. And it's not literally like they were eating out of their hand, but it was like they got an up close and personal look at nature and wild animals: deer, geese, ducks, grouse, coyotes, but I didn't like them in the yard. Turkeys, wild turkeys. We had a lot of wild turkey experiences in the yard. We were building that house. We had them in the garage and they were actually in the house before the walls and everything were up. So that was pretty entertaining. But the kids got a close look at nature, and to me, that felt like attracting nature, and attracting and feeding animals was like getting them to eat out of your hand. But it really refers to tame animals. When you treat them right, they'll eat out of your hand. Or getting somebody to believe or obey or go along with almost anything you say without question. Now, to me, that's a little more manipulative, and it seems more contrived than what I thought the meaning of the phrase was. So how do you use any of this and all of this or none of this to grow and build your business? Well, do we want people eating out of our hands? I guess if we're providing value and we're serving them and we're influencing them in a positive way, it's kind of like anything. It can be used for good or it can be used for evil. Power in any way, shape, or form can be used for good or evil. We can gain influence with our customers and with other people and with people in our industry in order to manipulate them and get them to do what we want, or in order to help and serve them. I'm going to vote that we all do it to help and serve them, but that choice is always ultimately up to you. I also used to think that this expression meant the way we interact with, build relationships, and deal with people, especially difficult people. Because guess what? We're all going to run into people that we consider difficult. And I've come to realize, as I've gotten older and wiser and gotten it beat into my brain, difficult is just difficult to me, and in my opinion. Usually, difficult is just another way of saying different. And we tend to struggle as humans with people that are different than us, people that have different beliefs, people that have different experiences, people that display different likes and dislikes and characteristics. We judge everyone. Guess what? The person we judge the most is always ourselves. And the reason we judge other people is because we see something in them that we're really judging in ourselves. Ooh, light bulb moment, right? You mean if I'm judging someone for the way they look, I'm really concerned or judging the way I look? Really? Well, that's kind of deep, so let's not go there. Let's just keep talking about eating out of our hands. Politicians, to me, are an example of a group, generally as a whole. I'm gonna generalize here and say politicians have a tendency to get people eating out of their hands. Famous actors and actresses are another example. Famous athletes, famous singers and musicians and entertainers have a way of getting people to eat out of their hands, meaning their fans, their followers, their tribe, their people that they influence tend to believe and trust everything they say and do. There's a reason that companies hire spokespeople and models and actors and actresses to support and endorse their products. Chances are, and I know this is another reality shock, that the products and services that they're endorsing for money. They're not endorsing because they believe in and use and love those products and services. So I say anything with a star endorsement, always question that. Use your judgment and question, is that really right for you? And we should do that with everything, as we should encourage our customers. Everything we share with people and teach people, and how we solve them, how we solve problems for them, and how we serve them, we want them to love us and be influenced by us and do business with us. We also want them to think for themselves and know that doing business with us is a great thing and it's right for them, because we only want to provide goods and services to the people that they're for. Now, that's another probably radical business belief and thought too, right? Because we've been trained in our thinking and in our lives, hey, I got to get the biggest piece of the pie possible. I have to compete against everybody. There's only so much to go around, so I have to scrap and fight and get my share, get what I want. And there's this false belief that if I'm going to get what I want, then I have to take it from somebody else. It's where you get that win-lose mentality that's absolutely ridiculous in this day and age. But how many people still really, really believe that? They really believe that in order for them to win, they have to beat the competition. They have to somehow beat down other people and put them down. Think of bullies, or because bullies have a lot of influence, right? It's an example of using something in a negative way. There's a lot of companies, there's a lot of business owners that are actually bullies, right? And you can be that if that works for you and that's your business and that's your niche and that's how you want to be. More power to you. But I will contend that the businesses that are going to grow and thrive and supersize, especially going forward in the world that's being created now, are going to be those that aren't manipulating, that aren't lying, that aren't treating people as if they're sheep, or a numbers game. I hate that. It's a numbers game thing. No, it's not a numbers game. Business is about relationships. Even businesses that are business to business. You're not selling to a business or a company. You're selling to a person within that business or company. It's all about relationships. So remember the relationship when you're wanting people to eat out of your hand, and make sure that you're feeding them some food and some information and some services and products that are really good for them and in their own best interest. And you will grow and supersize your business beyond your wildest dreams. Whatever anybody else is doing, it's none of your business. Have a great day. Love to know what you think of this expression, eating out of your hand. If you've had experience with it in a positive or negative way, share in the comments below, because Sharon Horne-Ellstrom, this Pajama Grandma, and all of the people that listen would love to know as well. Have an awesome day, and I'll of course be with you tomorrow with another interesting idiom. What does it mean? Where did it come from? How might you use it to grow and create the business of your dreams? Have a great day.